Good evening. Welcome everybody to a special 420 edition of my live videos. So as some of you know, especially local people, it is legal now for recreational marijuana. And one thing I do want to say is I own no rights to the music in this video. All the music is going to be sublime, so I don't own any rights to any of this sublime stuff. So welcome. Hi everybody. I know I'm a little bit late, sorry. I was running around like a crazy fool as usual. How is everyone? I hope everyone's having a great day. This is an interesting topic. I've never talked about it, especially on camera before, so this is fun. Hi! And I just want to say, while I'm going through all this stuff, you know, if anyone has any questions, if anyone wants to add something or something, feel free to chime in and add whatever you want to say. But on a fun note, I fit this dress again. It's been years since I could fit this dress, and I'm so happy. It's a beautiful dress. Hold on. Let me show you. It's got this nice little strip. It's cool. I have a mirror right there. So yes. Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I should do that, but I would love to use that while I'm actually doing a ritual. So maybe next new moon. Although, yeah, well, yeah, that would be fun. Well, that's exciting. I'll have to figure out how to, I'll have to Bluetooth it to the device. That'd be cool. But yes. So, we're just going to dive right in. I took a bunch of notes today of stuff that I really wanted to cover. I want to start by saying it has been used in magic and everything related for thousands of years. You know, it's relatively a newer thing where it was prohibited in the United States, blah, blah, blah. And now, obviously, a lot of states are finally decriminalizing it, so it's great because it's, you know, it's a plant. But it has a lot of medicinal purposes and magical purposes. So I know a lot of you already know this. I know I'm just preaching to the choir with a lot of things, but what I'm trying to do with this lovely video is kind of inspire you to take it into your own hands as far as, like, it's one thing to just smoke pot, but it's another thing to actually incorporate it into your magic and your witchcraft to heighten it and to heighten your abilities. You know, it sounds silly after all of the programming that was done to our brains saying that pot is bad, you know, reefer madness, all that crazy stuff, but, you know, there are a lot of scientific, you know, research going on, you know, right now especially. Yes, it was used a lot in Greco-Roman witchcraft. You know, I know a little bit of stuff that I was going to talk about, like the Oracle of Delphi. It's said, but we'll get there, we'll get there. I'm going to try and stick to my notes. But yeah, Jeff, if you know any other cool stuff, I'm sure you know stuff about it, so if you want to chime in, have at it. Okay. I probably should have, like, figured out where I wanted to start. So, you know, there's different kinds. Well, it made me take it out of... Oh, okay. Oh, that stinks. Why do so many people say you shouldn't be under the influence while doing magic as if it hadn't been... It has been since magic existed. They have been using hallucinogenic plants, whatever, to open up the spiritual realm to them. Hi, Beth. So this is nothing new, you know, and it's not just marijuana. It's also, you know, psychedelic drugs like mushrooms, and then, you know, there's also like opium and stuff like that that was also used. And that was to kind of detach the spirit from the body, you know, and marijuana was just one of those things that they also used. So let's see. So, okay, there's different kinds. There's different strains, different kinds. It is relatively a new thing in New York that it's legal, so there are no dispensaries yet. But once we do get dispensaries, you will see that there is a variety to choose from. So, there's sativa and there's indica. Now, some people say that sativa is more energizing and indica is more relaxing, but that is honestly still up for debate because it really depends on the strain. But you can do independent research on that. And, once we have dispensaries, especially local, some places like where I saw George's name up there where he's living in Colorado, that it's legal. So it's been legal for a while and it's a wonderful thing. So, you can definitely do your research on that, especially when we get dispensaries. You can go to the dispensaries themselves and ask a bunch of questions. They should know all the answers to that since typically they grow it themselves. Okay. And there's a few different differences. The main reason, like the background of why they separate the two, it isn't because of the mood that it puts on you. It actually refers to the height of the plant and also the branching and leaf morphology. So it's basically how it grows, what the leaves do and look like, and those differences. It's not actually the mood that it puts on the person or the user. So that's the different types that you can use. So you can use it in a lot of different ways. It's crazy, but you can use it in healing, love, money drawing, visions, meditation, cleansing, fertility. You can use it in a lot of different rituals, and you can use this as an incense. You can use this as a smoking blend. You can use it to dress a candle. You can use it to put inside of a poppet. Everything that we use, our herbs and plants and roots and whatever, we can use marijuana in the same way. So that is one thing. So it's great for divination. It's great for meditation. Meditation is definitely a big thing that it is used for, obviously, in many cultures. You can make, so as far as an incense goes, you can mix cannabis, mugwort, colt's foot, jasmine, dragon's blood. You can grind that all up, and of course, as you're grinding it all up, you're putting your intention into it and all that, but that is a nice incense for divination that anyone can make now. And it has also been said to be used in flying ointments back in the day, as well as other mind-altering plants. Another great thing that you can do with it is you can charge it with your crystals. So, typically more of the polished ones that it's not going to give like crystal residue onto it. You can charge it with your intent and with your crystals. Obviously keep up on your crystal charging and use those when you're charging your marijuana. This is so weird that I'm even talking about this on a video. But here we are today. When it's illegal, it's insane. Yeah, right? I was going to say, hi, Jessica. But you can use things like rose quartz for any kind of love working, quartz to boost, anything, and tiger's eye for strength. Obviously go off of the crystals and their things, their metaphysical properties. Okay, another idea, again, this is all for inspiration, things to think about, things to incorporate this newly legalized plant in our area in your witchcraft. So another thing you could think about is what you're using to smoke it with. Okay, so obviously you could do the normal joints, blunts, all those fun things. But when you're doing those, you can make, I saw on some website, but I think it's a really cool idea. I don't remember what website, but it is making an ink, so to speak, out of like spring water and then various herbs like mugwort, cannabis, maybe a little bit of cinnamon to, boost whatever you're doing pretty much. You can make this little mixture, and then use the water as your ink, and then write onto the paper or whatever you're using, your intentions, whatever. If you're already sensitive, does it make it stronger? Well, it could if you're using it for that purpose. If you're using it to make it stronger, it can. And obviously, if, like, your body is negatively sensitive to marijuana, I say don't use it. Of course. And all of this is at your own discretion as well. I think seeds of my plant are very powerful, so you could think of ways to use them and stuff and not waste your weed. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's always alternatives. But this, again, this is basically dedicated to, you know, this is historical in New York State that it is legalized, and it's the first 420 after it has been legalized. So that's just why I'm covering this. But, okay, so let's see. So things that you smoke. Okay, so, and also, they do have crystal pipes out there. I don't know. I don't really trust them. I don't personally recommend them. I know people do use them, and I like the idea of smoking, you know, doing that out of a crystal to charge it at the same time and put your intention into it that way. But certain ones, if they get too hot, it can be toxic, you know what I mean? So you just have to look into it. Use your own discretion for all that. You can also, you know, alright, so let me stay on topic. You can if you use an apple to smoke out of, it can represent love. You can make a gourd into a smoking device, and that you can use at Samhain time. Root plants like carrots, I guess potatoes, you could use for grounding and centering to smoke out of if you're doing a ritual that involves that. Just something to think about. If you are using a device like a bong, you can use moon water in that, and that can also represent all of the elements right there in one sitting. So think about that, because obviously your lungs are air, you got fire, water, and then obviously earth. Okay, so let's see. Yep, covered that. Yep. Okay, so the oldest example of where marijuana use happened in magic was the Oracle of Delphi. And if you don't know what that is, it is the priestesses of Apollo would, some say, now it's all, you know, a lot of this stuff is all up for debate, and you have to do your own research to really, you know, put the pieces together for yourself. But they would use marijuana to help with divination, because they would do divination for the visitors, and it would tell them the future, and even royalty would consult with them. And there are varying beliefs. Some say that they were standing over toxic vapor, and it was helping them to divinate. And but there are people that say that it was marijuana mixed with other herbs and stuff. Yeah, so it definitely goes back pretty far. I mean, it's a plant. It's something that's been used for a long time. So, from priestesses to shaman, it's widely used in history. And it is also great for, helps aid in releasing of the mind and access spiritual planes. So it's helping you to release the physical side of things, and see the more metaphysical side of things. Yes, absolutely. That's a cool tale, though. It is. Another thing to think about. Again, this is all very random, and this is all just kind of like written and scattered all over the place. If you're making edibles, you can use kitchen witchery in that as well. So you can put sigils and stuff and different symbols on whatever it is you're making. Even if it's when it's done, like if you're making chocolates or something, when it's done, you can etch it in with like a toothpick or something. You know, some things you can mix into it are mint for money and prosperity, orange for opportunity, abundance, and love, cinnamon for money and love. You know, again, think of kitchen witchery and how you can combine the two and make yourself some canna butter and mix it in. Another thing to think about is you can make a tea out of it. Actually, I want to say it's in Jamaica. They drink a lot of marijuana tea. That's like a big thing. Even with, like, especially amongst pregnant women, it's said to make the children smarter. Do your research on it. I did a lot of research on it, but it's they made a tea out of it. Obviously, smoking isn't the best way. You know, there's different ways to do this, and we will all know soon because we'll have dispensaries and you can go see what is out there for you, especially if, you know, I don't know, you'll have to figure it out based on you and your reaction to this kind of stuff. So think about that. Let's see. Okay, so that page is done. Okay. Now, when you are using it in spells, you do grind it with your intention, and you should be visualizing all the negativity leaving yourself in your space while you're grinding it. And really, just like any other time you're grinding up an herb or whatever, you're going to be putting your intention into it, just like anything else. And it doesn't matter what you're using it in, as an incense, as a smokable, as an edible, whatever. So, yeah, definitely look into it. It's pretty cool. Also, I feel like I'm saying also a lot, something to think about. You can light your joint or blunt with a spell candle during ritual. That is something, you know, it kind of like sparks the magic within the joint after you already put your little intention in there. And yes, there are different smoking blends that you can make mixed with different herbs. Like you can do little bits of wormwood, lavender, mugwort, but you have to make sure that it's all organic and there's no like pesticides or anything, so it's safe to smoke because pesticides can knock you out. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't just like get roses from Wegmans and think that that's safe. Go to somewhere like Nature Time where you know that those things are organic and they're for making teas and things with. But yes, yeah, you can make the tea, and you can also use that in tasseomancy. So not only is it helping boost your divination, because that's what it's one of the many uses that are for it, but you can mix other different herbs with it too, like mugwort, licorice root, stuff like that, hibiscus, you know, divination oriented herbs. You can mix all that together with your tasseomancy cup. Also, you can add the moon's energy to your ritual, to your smoking, to whatever you're doing. And again, I'm talking about using this in your witchcraft. This isn't just hanging out with your friends and smoking a joint or whatever. This is actually a spiritual thing, and it's supposed to be deep. It's supposed to be helpful and something cool that you can experiment with. But you can add the moon's energy by using it under the moon's rays. And that, again, can go with your intention. So when you're doing spell work, think about the moon phase and everything like that. That's something that gets your spells to the next level. You know, some people are like, you can do it whenever you want. And yes, you can. You can. You can. And that's fine. But there are added boosters, like the days of the week and where things align and things. So that's something to think about. If you would like to add the sun's energy, you can smoke in the sun or charge your marijuana in the sun. And that can incorporate anything involving sun rituals or even Sabbaths or, you know, solstices, whatever. If you want to add any of the sun's energy, that's what you can do. Hello, my first time joining you live. I recently subscribed to your YouTube page and I've started watching your videos. You're amazing. Thank you. Welcome. I'm glad you caught the live. This is a fun topic. It's a new topic for New York State where it is now legal for recreational marijuana. So in celebration of it being the first 420 and witchcraft having used marijuana for eons, We are covering this topic because I feel like, you know, it's because of its content, you know, it's not really talked about very often, especially since there hasn't been too much scientific research to back everything, you know, but it's still, there is still research and there is still lots and lots of history on it, so of course do your research. I'm late getting here, so I'll be watching the playback. Sounds good. Hi, I hope you had a great day. It was a little bit chilly today, but it was still, I think it was a pretty good day today as far as that goes. Okay, so this is a good one. While you're smoking, if that's what you're doing, because they do also have vaporizers, little handheld vaporizers that you can use. I don't know if they're safer or not. Again, I'm relatively new. So, again, do your research on what is the best way for you to ingest it. So, if you're smoking it, if you're drinking it, however you are taking it, if you're eating it, while you're doing the process, I'm going to use smoking as an example. While you're inhaling, and you're feeling it go through a meditative thing but you're thinking of your intention entering your body and going throughout and filling your body. Whether it's smoking, whether it's eating, drinking a tea, whatever, vaporizing, this is a process. If you really want to incorporate it into your witchcraft, this is something very cool that you can think about and be aware of before you smoke your next joint. But even before you do all that, you can put like your little pot ink that I talked about earlier, using the water and the herbs, and also cannabis can be in there as well, and using that to write sigils or symbols or messages, words, whatever, onto your paper if you're using a paper. And there's this beautiful saying. It is, so this is something that you could say after you're done with your ritual. You could say, sky above, earth below, smoke within. That's a wonderful, I love that phrase. I did not come up with that. That was the interwebs that came up with that. But I love that. I love that phrase. I honestly don't know who came up with that, but nonetheless, it's something cool that you could say. Alright. I think that's pretty much it. It is. Does anyone have any questions? I think this gives you a great direction and things that you can think about while you are incorporating it into your witchcraft. Now, another thing you could think about is people are going to be able to grow it themselves. So if you can grow it yourself and you're adding your intention from start to finish, you know, from growth to harvest to, you know, grinding to adding to whatever spell, that's a wonderful thing. So think about that. You can do that. A whole lot of think about that and alsos, and you can also. But hopefully this little video sparks some interest in you, in the people where it's legal in the States. Eventually it's all going to be legal everywhere, and it's not going to be a big deal anymore, but yeah, that's what we do. But, you know, start researching it now. There are books out there that you can get on the topic, and, you know, just doing regular research on the internet. Obviously check the sources and make sure that you're getting it from a reliable source. And yeah, have fun with it, experiment, you know, do it all safely, and follow the rules of, like, the legalization of it. But yeah, great for meditation, great for making teas, great for all sorts of things. And if you're just joining me here at the end, the playback will be available in just a few moments. My dad was a master. I wish I could grow anything like he grew weed. Yes, well, you can always try. I mean, now you could try. Shoot. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Eventually, I want to look into doing witchy high teas. I came up with that first. Because I usually do the witchy high teas, which are on pause for the moment. for a little update, I guess, for you guys while we're sitting here. Yeah, it's, I don't know, there's a few updates, I guess, that I could probably give. Because there's that update, and the Patreon, you can go follow that. But, I don't know. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone at all? I don't think so. So, again, if you do have any questions and it's the replay, go ahead and say the question. I'll come back and I'll check it out and see if there's any questions. I'll get a notification. I'm sure. So, witchy high teas. Yes, witchy high teas. Witchy high teas. Someday I'll get there. But yeah, that's what I was talking about when I forgot what I was talking about. Witchy high teas. I am still doing private parties for the high teas. So if anyone is interested in private party for a high tea, which involves tasseomancy and stuff like that, get a hold of me. I actually am going to be creating a new flyer and getting that information out there because that's important. So yeah, happy 420. Put on some Sublime or some Bob Marley or whatever you listen to. And have a good time. Stay safe out there, guys. And I will hopefully see some of you soon. Bye.